Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video we will be looking at virtual relationships in social media, which you need to know for AQA A-level psychology in the subtopic of relationships. I hope you enjoy this video and find it helpful. Let's get started. Virtual relationships, those formed and maintained through digital platforms rather than physical interaction, have become increasingly common due to the widespread use of social media and other internet-based communication tools. These relationships differ significantly from traditional face-to-face relationships in the way they develop, particularly in terms of self-disclosure and the absence of gating. Several theories help explain these differences, including the hyperpersonal model, reduced cues theory, and research into the role of anonymity and selective self-presentation in online communication. Virtual relationships in social media covers self-disclosure in virtual relationships and the effects of absence of gating on the nature of virtual relationships. Self-disclosure in virtual relationships. Self-disclosure refers to the act of revealing personal or intimate information to another person, and it plays a vital role in the development of close relationships. In virtual relationships, self-disclosure often occurs more quickly and more deeply than in face-to-face interactions. One of the main reasons for this is the anonymity offered by many online platforms. People can remain anonymous or use pseudonyms, which reduces the fear of being judged and allows them to feel safer when revealing personal information. This is known as the strangers on a train effect, as described by Rubin, 1975, where people feel more comfortable disclosing personal thoughts and feelings to someone they are unlikely to meet again. Durard, 1971, made an important distinction between public and private self-disclosure, suggesting that people are more honest and open when they have control over who receives their message. This can be seen in social media behavior, where users are often selective in what they post publicly but are more open and genuine in private messages or within closed online communities. Therefore, the online environment can create a space where individuals feel more in control of their audience and are more willing to share personal information. However, online communication also lacks the nonverbal cues that are present in face-to-face interaction, such as facial expressions, gestures, and tone of voice. Sproul and Kiesler, 1986, argued that the absence of these cues can lead to de-individuation and disinhibition, which might result in more blunt or even aggressive communication. In some cases, this can discourage meaningful or emotionally sensitive self-disclosure, as individuals may feel unsure about how their message is being received or may fear being misunderstood. Walters, 1996, hyperpersonal model helps to explain why self-disclosure can become more intense in online settings. He argued that virtual relationships can sometimes become even more intimate than face-to-face ones because of three key factors. Firstly, selective self-presentation allows individuals to carefully control what parts of themselves they show to others, leading to either hyper-honest or hyper-dishonest portrayals. Secondly, asynchronous communication gives people time to reflect and edit their responses, which can increase the quality and depth of self-disclosure. Thirdly, the idealization of the sender by the receiver can occur due to the lack of real-time feedback, which may lead the receiver to fill in the gaps with idealized assumptions. While this can create a strong emotional bond, it may also lead to disappointment if expectations do not match reality. The context of the virtual platform also plays a role in the nature of self-disclosure. For instance, anonymous chat rooms often encourage more unfiltered and uninhibited disclosure, but this can be shallow or less meaningful because there is no expectation of meeting in real life. In contrast, platforms like dating apps often lead to more careful and genuine self-presentation, as users anticipate moving from online to face-to-face interaction. A strength of self-disclosure in virtual relationships is that it occurs more openly and quickly, leading to faster development of intimacy. Walters, 1996, hyperpersonal model explains how virtual communication can become more intimate than face-to-face interactions. This is because online communicators engage in selective self-presentation, revealing only what they choose, which may be idealized. As a result, disclosure is more intense, and emotional intimacy is built quickly. This supports the idea that virtual communication can facilitate deeper, faster emotional connections than traditional relationships. A limitation of self-disclosure in virtual relationships is that people may misrepresent themselves, leading to deception. Whitty et al., 2009, found people in online conversations often engaged in direct and intimate questioning while exaggerating their positive traits. While this might promote relationship formation, it can also lead to an unrealistic or false sense of intimacy that is unsustainable offline. The hyper-personal nature of these relationships may make them vulnerable to disappointment and trust issues once the reality is revealed. A limitation of self-disclosure in virtual relationships is that it can happen too quickly, which can be off-putting and lead to relationship breakdown. The hyper-personal model predicts relationships formed through computer-mediated communication may become overly intense early on. Because people disclose too much, too soon, this can lead to unrealistic expectations and disillusionment once face-to-face interaction occurs. While deeper intimacy can be a strength, the pace and emotional intensity of virtual relationships can also create instability. A strength of self-disclosure in virtual relationships is that it may be biologically rewarding. Tamir and Mitchell, 2012, found that self-disclosure activates reward centers in the brain such as the nucleus accumbens. This suggests people feel pleasure from disclosing personal information, which may help explain why self-disclosure is common and frequent in online settings. These findings suggest a possible evolutionary or biological basis for why people are drawn to disclose more in virtual interactions. A limitation of self-disclosure in virtual relationships is that cultural differences influence its impact on trust. Yum and Hara, 2005, found that American participants associated greater disclosure with more trust, whereas Korean participants linked it with less trust. This indicates self-disclosure does not have a uniform meaning or outcome across cultures, challenging the generalizability of Western research. This limits the cultural validity of theories like the hyperpersonal model and highlights the need for cross-cultural research. A strength of self-disclosure in virtual relationships is its role in helping socially anxious or shy individuals form meaningful connections. Baker and Oswald, 2010, found that shy individuals using Facebook reported better friendship quality. Online environments reduce social pressures and allow for more controlled interactions, giving shy individuals a chance to connect without fear of immediate judgment. This suggests virtual settings can function as therapeutic spaces for those who struggle with real-life social interaction. Absence of gating in virtual relationships. Gating refers to any obstacle that might prevent the formation of a relationship in face-to-face interaction, such as physical appearance, social anxiety, age, ethnicity, or speech impediments. In virtual contexts, many of these barriers are either hidden or irrelevant, leading to what researchers call the absence of gating. Similarly, the social demography filter, which in face-to-face interactions can limit who people connect with based on factors such as location, age, or social class, has less influence in online environments. This means individuals are more likely to form relationships across traditional social divides, leading to a wider and more diverse range of connections. A strength of the absence of gating is that it allows socially anxious individuals to form closer and more authentic relationships. McKenna and Barr, 2002, found that socially anxious individuals or those who had facial disfigurements were more comfortable disclosing online and formed closer relationships. In face-to-face interactions, their anxiety or self-consciousness may act as a barrier, but the anonymity of online environments removes the obstacle of physical and social constraints, promoting genuine self-expression and allowing people to be judged more by their personalities than by their appearances. This supports the idea that virtual relationships can provide an inclusive space for people who might otherwise struggle socially. A strength of the absence of gating is that virtual relationships can sometimes be more durable than offline ones. McKenna et al., 2000, found that 70% of online romantic relationships lasted over 2 years, higher than the rate for offline ones. The ability to focus on emotional connection and self-disclosure, without superficial barriers, may contribute to stronger bonds. This challenges the assumption that virtual relationships are less meaningful or committed than traditional ones. A strength of the absence of gating is that it widens the pool of potential partners beyond conventional social or geographical boundaries. Virtual platforms allow users to connect based on interests or personality, rather than appearance or background. The social demography filter from filter theory is less relevant online, enabling more diverse and compatible matches. This increases opportunities for meaningful relationships that may not be possible in traditional, face-to-face contexts. A limitation of the absence of gating is that it enables deception through identity misrepresentation. Yerkesin et al., 2005, interviewed 11 online daters and found that many online daters presented both their real and idealized versions of themselves, with some even copying other profiles and images. While most still remained close to their true identities to avoid negative outcomes in face-to-face meetings, the lack of visual or verbal cues makes it easier for individuals to manipulate their identity, which can lead to trust issues, emotional harm, and the potential for dishonesty. This undermines the authenticity and stability of virtual relationships, especially when face-to-face meetings occur. A limitation of the absence of gating is that individuals may idealize their partners based on incomplete or manipulated self-presentation. Zhao et al., 2008, argued that online users often present a version of themselves that aligns with how they want to be seen, not who they truly are. They found that while some individuals use the internet to present their ideal selves, others manipulate their identity to deceive or gain popularity. This can lead to unrealistic expectations and disappointment when relationships transition into the real world. While the absence of gating allows for deeper connections, it also increases the risk of disillusionment and false intimacy. A strength of the absence of gating is its practical application for therapeutic use. Virtual relationships offer a safe space for socially challenged individuals to practice and develop interpersonal skills. For those with social phobias or limited confidence, online platforms may act as stepping stones to healthier offline relationships. This opens up real-world applications in counseling, therapy, and social development. A limitation of the absence of gating is that evolutionary factors like physical attractiveness may still influence online interactions. Evolutionary psychology suggests men place greater emphasis on physical appearance, even in virtual contexts. While online platforms can hide physical traits initially, image-based media, like dating profiles, often reintroduce these traditional gates. This indicates that absence of gating is not absolute and may be mediated by biological predispositions. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. Bye.